desperate this time from Jambo is looking for it! Craig Halkett to win the Inter Derby in injury time! Played level outside circle!
Hello everyone, welcome back to Hearts and Sleeves podcast. It is a podcast all about Heart of Midlothian Football Club, its fans and the ups and downs both on and off the pitch. So we've got two regulars today. We've got Adam, and Trunter is back again. So let's go to you first of all, Trunter. We've missed you. How have you been?
I've been all right, man. I'm just long day at work today, so apologies for the hold up there, but I've just finished my tea, so I'm feeling pretty good, man. How are you guys?
You can't just tease us with the fact you've had dinner and not tell us all about it.
Oh my god, mate! Amy made this pulled pork stuff. She gets this this like long bit of like pork fillet and slow cooks it with like barbecue sauce. I don't know what she puts in it, but it smells amazing. And when it's cooking at the start, it smells like kind of like Mattison's smoked sausage when it starts cooking, and then it just kind of matures into this like delicious this smoky pulled pork thing. And I had it in a ciabatta roll with some cheese, coleslaw, buffalo sauce, and apple sauce, and it was dynamite, bro.
Honestly, that was an absolutely horrific question to ask when I've not actually had any dinner. I don't know why I went down that route, but yeah. Hey, Adam, how you keeping? You all right?
I'm doing amazing, thanks. Still buzzing from the Hearts result. Buzzing as well from the Rangers result, and the Celtic result. So it's been 3 out of 4 so far at the time of recording.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed for the last one.
Yeah. The final domino to fall, hopefully, will be Hibs. I see they're still goalless at the moment, but who's to say that won't change for the better come the end of the podcast? And obviously, it was a momentous game yesterday and a momentous result to talk about, but we will talk about it a little bit later because this week we're delighted to welcome onto the show Matt Entricken from the Raising Anchor podcast. It's a podcast that's dedicated to all things Rhode Island FC. And one thing that has happened lately to the club is the departure of their striker, JJ Williams. He is unveiled this week as our 11th signing of the season. So we shall get the lowdown on him from Matt. But before we do, thanks for coming on to our show, Matt. How you doing?
It's a pleasure, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. I can't wait to commiserate our loss in having JJ Williams depart, but then enjoy and celebrate the gained options you have in such a high quality striker coming here from America. So can't wait to talk all things JJ Williams.
Now, so anyone that doesn't know your club, Rhode Island FC, I mean, I wasn't, full truth here, wasn't too familiar with them until I read up a bit more about them and heard a bit more about them from yourself, Matt. So Rhode Island FC then, how would you describe your club?
Well, I mean, to describe the club, you almost have to describe the state. There's a joke online that Rhode Island, as a state, the smallest state in the United States, is often forgotten on maps that are drawn of our country. So, when you say that you're not familiar with our football club, it's almost it's par for the course considering our own citizens sometimes don't remember that we exist as a state. In fact, even so much so that sometimes when you try to get continental shipping and they see the name Rhode Island, they think that they're shipping to some international country and will not ship products to us. So it's been a long running joke, but because of that, we are the tiniest state. And while we may be one of the newest clubs within Division II football here in America, it doesn't come without saying that we have actually been one of the best products to come out of the North American soccer landscape here over the last 3 or 4 years. The club itself started in 2019 as a vision and idea of bringing football to New England in a more meaningful area. New England itself is comprised of 6 different states, and they all share one sports identity as New England. Most of the states can't actually usually support their own sport ecosystem, and so that's why you have the New England Patriots, with the rest of the teams in the area for different sports coming out of the city of Boston. And so Rhode Island getting their own sporting product for the first time ever as a professional sport of any kind, let alone the sport of football, was a really big turning point for the state. And since that time, we unveiled ourselves in 2024 as our expansion season into the USL, or the United Soccer League. Since that time, we've gone on to make it to the conference finals because, of course, America has to have playoffs and everything they do. We've made the conference finals in both of our first years in the league, making it all the way to the finals in 2024 and losing in the final game of the championship season. So it's been a prolific and historic start. And I gotta admit, guys, a lot of that has come thanks to the participation of a certain striker who's now wearing a Hearts kit.
Well, that is very reassuring to hear. I've had a look at the Centreville Bank Stadium. Is that how it's pronounced, Centreville, or is it Centreville, or
It's Centerville, either way. Tomato, tomato, my friend.
fine? So I've had a look at it. Considering, I mean, again, speaking with you slightly beforehand, Matt, and your weather's not too dissimilar to our own, seems quite a ballsy move to have no roof on that stadium.
So that has been a contentious conversation amongst the fandom. On one part, you could argue that New Englanders are built tough to weather the type of inclement weather that exists here, and that rain and snow is simply par for the course. That being said, the ownership of the stadium is not ignorant to that weather pattern. And so there have been conversations about an awning being installed. The problem to it is that the stadium was built at its current capacity of 10,500, with the idea that as we kind of slow rolled attendance growth, because remember, we're only our third year as a football club, that's a considerably shorter runway when we compare it to something like Hearts' history as a football club. Just 3 years in, they're trying to grow the attendance into a way that will have us where once we've hit in capacity every single week, or we have the requirements to go into Division 1 football, which is our next ambition, kind of a internal promotion as we start a pro rel system here in the next few years for ourselves, that we can expand the stadium. So they couldn't put the awning in ahead of including that expansion. The stadium's mobility is going to eventually be allowing us to actually increase that to 16,000 people inside the stadium. But that's a second tier construction project. Once that's done, the awning will absolutely get put in place.
It does sound like you're expanding as a team and sort of success story wise at a pretty quick rate, considering how short a lifespan you've had so far. You mentioned to me earlier, you don't really tend to fill out that capacity of a stadium, but you're slowly getting there. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's correct. So we have the fourth highest attendance in the league now after 3 years. But that's probably a bit of a honeymoon period, if I'm being honest. The next step is, converting. Well, we have so many casual fans that are trying the product for the first time ever. It's converting them into season ticket members. It's converting them into diehards as quickly as possible. So a lot of people are sampling football within the area, but haven't committed to that. So they haven't seen that, it's usually around 8,000 right now is what the club's averaging. The other problem is with that rain that we were joking about a second ago, it has definitely deterred a lot of the first time hopefuls to come out to a match. We've actually only had two of our home matches this season be rain free. Every other match has had rain, and that's a bit off putting to get someone to try their first experience ever.
Yeah. One last sort of question then about Rhode Island in general, like their team. I'm sure we'll come back into them in some form, but I guess last sort of direct question I really want to ask about them. So they play in the USL. Now, most of our listeners are more likely to be familiar with the MLS. Is there a way that a team like Rhode Island could be promoted into the MLS? So, for example, in Scotland, you get promoted from the Championship into Premiership. Is that how it works for you guys, or is it slightly different?
No, unfortunately, it's a little different. So MLS is a closed league at the top of our U.S. Soccer Federation. So they sit at Division One currently. There's been no interest from MLS to open the pyramid and connect their league to the rest of the structure. So in that vein, USL is actually undertaking an ambitious project which will launch in 2028, and they're going to actually introduce promotion and relegation from Division One all the way down to Division Three. Currently, USL has three leagues inside the pyramid. They have USL Championship, which is the Division Two product that Rhode Island is currently in. They have USL One, which sits in Division Three, and then they have a collegiate program that brings the local college academies into the fold during the summer window when they're not playing at the college at their respective colleges, and that's USL2, which sits around the Division 3 landmark. So they'll be introducing a brand new league in 2028 called USL Premier, which does have the application out currently with our soccer federation to become Division 1 sanctioned. And then they're going to take a choice crop of select championship teams and automatically promote them. So there should be about 12 clubs in the first iteration of that USL Premier, and then they're going to balance out the rest of the pyramid, and then we're going to see promotion and relegation go up and down between those three divisions. So it will be completely separate from MLS, and the only place that you'll see MLS teams as of now compete with USL is in our own domestic kind of cup where it goes across the entire landscape of football, where even an amateur team could play if they're drawn against an MLS, similar to the FA Cup in England. And so we have an FA Cup called the US Open Cup. But otherwise, the two leagues are very much oil and water and don't mix very well or at all.
That's good to know. I was listening to your podcast from just over a week ago and just hearing what you're saying now as well, Matt. JJ Williams was obviously a big part of your team. Joined yourselves in 2024. What were your first impressions with him and how did he land when he first joined with you?
You know, it's interesting. His introduction to the club kind of almost foreshadowed his impact on the pitch. So, unlike some of our first signings that were announced, JJ Williams was actually introduced at the very first public party celebrating Rhode Island FC as a club in 2023. So they were doing the kit reveals of what the club would wear in its inaugural season. At that point, we had known of three players that had signed, and then out on the runway struts a JJ Williams wearing the new kit. I think only the sickos of the league and the people that had already invested a lot of time in learning what we were up against realized who was on that catwalk. And when he came up, you know, I had recognized him right away. We had a conversation. At the time, JJ Williams was coming off of a career high best ever season with the legendary Tampa Bay Rowdies. And so it was a statement of intent. We had already gotten this great keeper, we had a couple of midfielder acquisitions, but going out and getting one of the league's best strikers right out the get before the rest of the team had ever been announced. It was a statement of intent from the ownership and the technical staff of this club. And while it had some ups and downs at the very beginning of our first season, it was something that you kind of knew was like preordained. It was destiny to have a player like JJ Williams. And since that time, it's been nothing but explosive delight having him play for Rhode Island FC in the Amber and Blue.
Interesting you mention the Tampa Bay Rowdies there because there's actually a Hearts connection with them. Our former manager and player, in fact, Robbie Nielsen, managed them for a short period of time. So I wonder if he's at all familiar with JJ Williams. Who knows? Maybe he put in a bit of a good word to us about him. So, what kind of striker would you say he is then?
So JJ Williams is an interesting striker in the sense that he is probably the most complete last pure striker that I've seen in USL over the last 5 to 10 years. A lot of times in today's kind of landmark of where coaches want their strikers to be, it's not that striker that will be parked up at the top, ready to be explosive on a transition, be a hold up target front man, or be both good with the ball at his feet and in the air. I don't want to make the comparison and say to everyone that he's the second coming of Erling Haaland, but there is a similarity in that profile of, does JJ Williams defend on set pieces because of his height and his physical size? Yes. Will he get back? Absolutely. He has some of the best defensive contributions for a frontline player in the league. But JJ Williams is a system, a product of what that single striker mentality of, if you give him the ball, he's going to do something with it, whether it's a distribution on, it's a flick out to the wing, or it's just take the ball and marshal up the pitch. He is one of the most complete strikers I have ever gotten the privilege to watch. I think what has been one of the most frustrating things in watching a player of this nature is he's almost too good for the USL. And we've seen it time and time again with how refs treat a player like JJ Williams. When you're that physical in a league that, JJ easily usually has 3 to 5 inches on most of the players he's playing, and he usually has about 20 pounds of muscle on the next defender in line. A lot of the times, JJ Williams' physicality almost doesn't give him the fair highlight of what he's doing on the pitch. There's a frustration in the fan base here of the way management of games is done by the refs, the fouls and the cards that are called, and sometimes the missed fouls that would be a foul at any more professional, more developed league. It sometimes has set JJ Williams apart and like that he's almost targeted. But when you look at his work rate, he's in the upper 95 percentile, excuse me, of everything from aerial duels won, shots attempted, touches. He's in the 89th percentile. He's just a player that once he's on the pitch, your win percentage is going to go up by 30%. And we've seen that in the numbers. His points per game when Rhode Island FC he's been on the pitch for Rhode Island FC is at 1.44 in all matches played in league play. When he's not been on the pitch, it drops by 30%. And so when you have
Jesus.
such a prolific striker like JJ Williams, and to be fair, it is also some of the way the tactics of head coach Connor Smith has employed with JJ Williams. He is someone where I don't know how we're going to answer our own goal production with his departure to Hearts.
Wow. I mean, this guy, I think with Jamestown and with our new coach, Franken, I've got a feeling that they know what they want. They want, obviously we lost Shankland, and we've not quite nailed it down with our guys up front yet. From what you're saying and how you're talking so like glowingly about JJ, it sounds like on our side we know what we're after. We've all, as fans, we've all kind of like seen his stats and stuff, and that can only tell us so much. But I've got a really good feeling that that the guys with the numbers know what they're talking about, and this guy is really, yeah. I mean, just hearing the way that you talk about the team's just better with a minute, like and a lot better with a minute, then that seems like what the Jamestown stuff's probably looking for.
Yeah, his vision on the pitch is probably his best ability, his latent ability as a striker. Most of his goals will come from his aerial production, but he still has the ability. I think he scored 11 goals all comps this season, but in league play so far it's been just 8 for the championship. I think 3 of them have come from long range shots, which is not something we've seen from his locker in the last 3 seasons. So he's being more and more comfortable shooting from distance when he's not kind of that fox in the box. But if he's within 3 to 4 yards of the goal mouth, it's almost a guarantee that he's putting something on frame and making it a dangerous XG chance. The thing with JJ, and this is probably the unspoken thing that the stat lines won't share, is JJ Williams would probably be playing in an even higher league than the Scottish Premiership if he could stay healthy. And I don't know what it has been or if it's just been a bad luck of run with Rhode Island FC, but each year he has spent 2 to 3 months not being able to play due to some type of injury. In the first year, it was reported that he had a sports hernia as he came into the club in our inaugural season. So he missed the first 3 months, not playing until May, still put up 11 goals in the season, his second best. I think he actually scored something like 6 goals in the last 3 games of the season, which made us into such a strong playoff contender that we were. The next season was his probable worst in the last 5 years at just 7 goals in league play. Had a couple more contributions in our intra-tournament cups, but again had a spell of time where he missed after a knock in May, sidelining him for another 3 months. This year was his breakout year. He's been
Mm.
extremely healthy. He was on 8 goals in league, 11 in all comps, which was going to break his career best with the Rowdies. I had just talked to him maybe 3 weeks before the transfer and said, what is your ceiling? What is your target? You're knocking on the door of it. And he said, my target doesn't matter. I'm not happy with the number of goals I've scored. I should have been scoring more this season. And he meant it. He's a player that's just designed. If he's getting service, he's getting you goals. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, man. It sounds like we've got someone that's really hungry. I mean, let's. You probably know by now that we've had our, and even even last night, we've had so many problems with injuries. I think we would have won the league last year had it not been for some key injuries. So that's always like a tough one for us to hear at Hearts, about a player that's kind of like injured on and off all the time. But I mean, like, I'm an optimist. I'm just gonna hope that JJ's got all that behind him at the moment, and he's I mean, we lucked out for a long time with Lawrence Shanklin with the numbers he was putting up. He'd been spotty before that. We got a couple of great seasons out of him. Now he's gone to Rangers and he's absolutely cack. But when he went out injured, when Cammy Devlin went out injured, that kind of killed us a little bit with in regards to like the league run. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that JJ's like fit, healthy, and sounds like he's hungry. Like, what was his relationship like with the fans? I mean, you're telling me that you've talked to him as well. It sounds like he's pretty much beloved with you guys.
I mean, he was a folklore hero at this point. He would get run into at the grocery store, and people would ask for autographs on their grocery receipt. He is one of those presences that just inspires, even if he's not even playing a game. He was very immersed in the community from an outreach program. He's named
Man.
one of his children after the state of Rhode Island now. So like you talk about buy-in, and I don't think there was a player more bought on that understood, by the way, the responsibilities that came with it. There's pretty much two captains that existed within our ecosystem. One of them being our actual captain in Coque Vegas, our goalkeeper from La Liga, and then so we had the backline captain, and then we had the frontline captain in JJ Williams, and they offered different parodies. They offered different levels of confidence within the locker room as well as to what the fan base and that presence look like. And he's going to be missed. And by the way, you said injuries, and you talk about hungry. Something else I want to say about JJ Williams, if you go and look at his player profile this season, he has only played in 2 games since April 4th where he hasn't played 90 minutes. And it's not
Wow.
because he needs time off to recover. It's because he's hungry and he wants that goal. He wants that contribution. The man has an engine that just does not quit. So something of consideration there. And he won't be playing on turf, I hope, because turf tears up people when it comes to injuries in the American
Mm.
product, unfortunately. So he'll probably be getting
Yeah,
some
man.
good grass under him.
Yeah, we got that here. Are you familiar with our guy Claudio Braga?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we talk about buying into the club and getting the supporters behind you. You've never seen a happier player than Claudio Braga. Um, he's bought into everything. We love him. I mean, he's probably going to go, hopefully for a lot of money. But again, it's much like you guys and JJ. It's like we'll be devastated to see him leave, but we're going to be so like grateful for everything he's done and the way that he bought in and the way that the fans rallied around him and gave us something so positive. So, that's the kind of like player that we're looking for on like a sort of humanity level, like a just a dude that's awesome. And yeah, JJ sounds like that, which is super refreshing to hear.
Yeah, and there's a lot of expectation, and I wouldn't say it's pressure. And even if I did, JJ would say it's a privilege to have it. But from an American side of things, there's a lot of hope that this door opens with JJ Williams. There's been other strikers that have gone off to Europe. I mean, we talk about Hibs. I think Colton Swan from Charleston Battery just went to Hibs. on a contract offering there. But it's the age of JJ Williams. He's 28 now at this point. This isn't some untested raw talent. I mean, I know what the analytics are pulling from Jamestown, but it's a if a 28-year-old striker who has been through 6 different USL clubs, has taken time in MLS, can now prove himself with a club like Hearts, the amount of inspiration that he leaves in his wake, not just from Rhode Island FC, but North America as a whole, it could be the turning point for a lot of hopeful players and fans to say, like, this is the bridge we've been waiting for. And so there's just a lot of love and support going into this. It's not being a homer. The stats are there, the data's there, the desire's there, and everyone wants to see this succeed, both from a Rhode Island FC part and, of course, obviously you guys at Hearts.
Are there many guys that have made the step up to like a higher level from the USL?
It depends on what you call higher level. We like to broadcast the Diego Luna promotion internally through the U.S. men's national team. Oddly enough, he did not get a World Cup call up, even though he was very heavily marketed in America as the face. Like we talk about Christian Pulisic and being Captain America, but right next to his face everywhere was Diego Luna, and he comes up through the USL system. So we've seen we've seen players go places. Fidel Barajas is in San Jose now with the Earthquakes. Again, another MLS product. Most recently, if we talk players that have had chances, though, they're usually younger. They're usually players that have gone on from just a team taking a chance and then it doesn't quite work out, so they send them to their 2 team or their B team. Most famous, I think, recently is there's a player that was with USL a couple seasons ago, and Nick Markanich. He was a Golden Boot winner. I think he scored like something like 28 goals in 2024, and he went on to play for. He went on to go to La Liga, but he's now in this. He's in the Segunda, and so is he still making a ton of money playing for Castellon's lower division? Yes. Has he made the breakout that we all thought maybe he could achieve? Not quite, and that takes time, right? That's that younger player manifestation. That's why there's a lot more curiosity right now. JJ Williams is in his prime. You're getting a player at the peak of what he can offer. It's not a development. It's just an integration and getting used to what Hearts are asking him to do. That's something that we've never seen come out of the USL before, and it's turning a lot of heads for that reason.
Is it common for players in the USL to have played for so many clubs as well? Because just looking at his kind of career history, seems like he's, apart from a couple of years at Rhode Island, seems like every year he's at a different club, basically.
I don't. It's not usual. You will normally see a player usually have 1 year to 2 years in the USL because of the parity in the league. Just the cost as a USL player becomes more and more of a journeyman, more experienced. They command a higher like minimum league salary for when it comes to cost, and so a lot of these ownership groups, it's like, hey, should we go take a chance on a lower division loanee or an untested and untried player from the Jamaican Premier League, or do we want to pay this level of money that would be a considerable chunk of their roster space? Bringing on a known product. I think that's kind of what JJ Williams has suffered through in a lot of his time, is that everyone knows what they get from him, and most of the time, probably people couldn't afford to keep him on the payroll the next season. So I think that's a bit of it. Everywhere he's gone, from the people I've talked to, they've all said he's been nothing but a great locker room presence, a great mentor, and a great fan favorite. It's just he really couldn't find a home until his partnership. It actually started, weirdly enough, back in September of 2020 with the Birmingham Legion. He was then on loan with our assistant coach, now head coach, Cano Smith. So those two met then. Cano knew that if he ever got his own team, JJ was going the team was going to be built around a player like JJ Williams. And then when we got him in 2023, we paid money to take him off of the Rowdies' hands. I think that was actually when Nielsen was around. We basically stripped Nielsen from the ability to have that striker the next season, and it was just a no-brainer to bring him to Rhode Island, where we've kept him for those 3 seasons now up until this transfer.
Just going back to something you said earlier, I know there'll be people listening to this podcast with a bit of the fear when you said he's injury prone, because as Trinner mentioned, we have had a bit of bad luck as far as injuries go. However, it's really reassuring to hear what you say about his presence in front of goals, because when he was given the number 9 shirt that was previously held by Shankland, obviously there's a lot of weight to that shirt. I think people instantly looked at the amount of goals he scored and thought, well, it's actually not that many compared to what Shankland was scoring for us. And it's an unfair comparison because Shankland scored a ridiculous amount of goals. He was the best striker of a generation, much I hate to say it, because it didn't have a happy ending. But you say, would you feel confident with him going one-on-one with the keeper, for example? Could he play a role sort of as a single striker up front?
Yeah, I mean that's where JJ actually shines. He's a single striker in our system today. His ability to take on defenders, to take on keepers one on one, he has. It's not his best skill, or it's not his best tool in his toolbox in terms of his dribbling, but he definitely has it within him. I think where you're going to see a benefit from JJ is his off-ball movement as well as his ability to pull and contain defenders. I cannot tell you how many times JJ has been in 2 or even 3-on-1 defensive situations, either in build-up or in transition, that has created space in the box for our wingers and secondary runners to create the goal scoring opportunities. And so, even if it's not JJ actually scoring the goal or getting the assist, it's him directing that traffic to create the shooting lanes that exist. Right now, Rhode Island is in one of its best scoring histories so far as a club. We're at the highest kind of echelon of goals for that we've ever experienced as an organization. And while JJ is at the top of that in his 8 goals and his 12 goal contributions, it's allowed our wingers and those midfielders to come through and score in ways that we haven't ever seen them get unlocked. We've talked in the absence of JJ, how do those players step up? Because there isn't someone of JJ's type now kind of dictating terms in the box and telling defenders what they're going to have to do. So it's definitely his ability to fight, and he will get you goals in a very scrappy and just angry kind of way. But then it's also just keeping defenders occupied. That is another one of those skills that it can't be ignored because it's again, it's what's allowed us to score. I think we have 10 goals from the wings, which that's not something that we originally thought this team was going to be. We thought it was get down the flanks, overload into a corner, and send a cross in, and just try to find JJ. And a lot of the times, these teams they're putting too much respect on JJ, and they're giving our other attackers too much space to get away with murder.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Hearing that, I don't know what you guys think, Adam and Trunter, but that makes a lot of sense with how we've been creating and scoring goals lately.
Yep. Sorry, just yup.
Okay, right, fine.
No, but we have definitely been missing basically what Matt's saying within our team. I'd love us to be. I'd love to think that JJ could like unlock the obvious powers of Sabaka Jota. Like that's where my head went straight away. And obviously with McPake and Miller coming in and looking really impressive as well, it feels just what I'm hearing now sounds so potentially complementary to what we've been playing. You know, like we've got like Bassi, we've got Wilson. Braga's not like an out and out striker, might not be here. Kabore's Kabore. So yeah, like this kind of signing could really, it feels like the kind of like missing piece of the puzzle. Just the more I hear.
It sounds like we're proper moneyballing it. We're getting the averages, goals wise, throughout the team rather than because we've said it time and time again. You just can't replace Shankland, and we can't replicate the amount of goals he scored. But we're already. I mean, if you look how many goals he scored already this season, and that's without this. I don't know, in inverted commas, Shankland replacement. But we're pretty much scoring for fun at the moment, and it sounds like, as you say, could well be that final piece of the puzzle. Matt, I don't want to keep you for too much longer. As you've been very generous with your time. I really appreciate it. What would you say? So, say you came back on here in a year's time. or listen back in a year's time, what do you think we'll be saying about JJ Williams?
I mean, if you look at his average numbers across his career, this man is a minimum of a double-digit goal striker, and I don't expect him to be anything less than that. Now, I don't know if only, 10 goals is enough for what you guys are looking for out of your Heart season. I'm merely saying that that is a baseline. That is a perfectly acceptable place that all Hearts fans should expect him to be at a minimum, with then another probable 5 or 6 goal contributions. I didn't even really touch in on his passes inside the box and kind of that redistribution. He's very sharp in that when he knows he can't find the goal himself. If he's got runners coming in, he's very good at looking for that second run. So I think anywhere from a 15 goal contribution season is not out of the realm of possibility. And I think that beyond that, you're going to see someone who he's going to come up to the supporters group. He's going to come up to the fans. He's going to be in the community. He's not going to take this for granted. He knows how much this means to himself. He knows that this is his chance. And if he's already been playing as hard as he has in Division II football in America, I can't even imagine the levels that he's going to reach for and untap here in this opportunity for what's going to be the most important season of his life. And so you guys should enjoy what that is, and just embrace what is JJ Williams. And if he has a third child, I can't wait to see what he names him.
Your team, Rhode Island FC, they've had a very interesting few years. And if people would like to tune in and see how they're getting on, your podcast is the best place to find out about them. How would people do that then?
Yeah, so we have our show. We do it twice a week. You can find us either at RIFC Podcast or at Raising Anchor. We interview the coaches, the ownership, the players, and we cover the club through all of its ups and downs. But it's been a lot of ups this season, so we'll see if those downs now start to come as we've lost JJ. But you can find us there, and I definitely will be tuning in and checking in on you guys to watch how this signing unfolds for you guys in this season ahead. I wish you guys the best of luck in that.
Well, our thanks again to Matt for coming on and telling us all about what to expect from JJ Williams. I mean, we said it at the time, but it does really sound like he's going to fit in really well with not just the play, but also as a personality, Trunter.
Yeah, just hearing from Matt, he was talking so glowingly about the way that JJ fitted in with within the community and really bought into the fans and the club, and he sounds so loved. And I just when we got Claudio Braga, the way that he like assimilated into you know Hearts culture and stuff, I wonder if that's part of the JTA thing. I know it's not as simple as like XG type stats and all that stuff, but um, you know, just sort of charisma, and how well someone's going to fit in. I guess that's definitely like a saleable, like a valuable part of a player's profile. Um, and yeah, I just wonder how much that fits in with JTA. It's just a thought, but I guess that they know what they're looking for.
Yeah, and almost to sort of balance things out, we're talking about how he's 28. He's obviously it's like journeyman experience
Mm.
over in the States. We've recently made moves to sign someone who's kind of at the opposite end of that. So his name's Aaron Benjaminson. He's from the Faroe Islands, although he's plied a bit of his trade over in Norway. And sounds like he will be our 12th signing of the season. 18-year-old winger, and is potentially going to become the first ever million player to come out of the Faroese League. By the way, that's a million kroner, not pounds. Roughly translate to £100,000. But still, it's interesting that we've gone from a highly experienced player to also signing the young talent. There seems to be, in amongst the in the know folk, seems to be a lot of buzz about him. I don't know if he'll go straight on loan, because I was reading up on Aaron just earlier on today, and it's mentioned that Franken is looking for a replacement for he's Aridis, so you never know. My assumption was just obviously given his age and lack of experience that he would be loaned out. I'm not saying he won't be, but there is potential there. He might have some first team football. Thoughts on him, Adam?
It's hard to tell, isn't it? I think we already have a few wingers. I'd be surprised if he got a lot of game time as an 18-year-old. But given the number of injuries we've had, it might well be that we want to keep him around the team, get him on as a sub occasionally, maybe play him in like cup games or something as well. Given that we've got the European football to look forward to.
I suppose that's the great thing about cooperation loans is that we can just hand him over to a championship side, then maybe bring him over for cup games or what have you. I mean, he seems the ideal situation for us to put him out and keep him, get him some experience with playing with bigger men, bigger sets of players, and be able to bring him in so he's pretty much match ready when the time comes for him. So it's another exciting signing. But I think we've talked too much about what's to come in the future, and let's reflect on what's happened in the past 24 hours then. It was an amazing game. I'm not. I think it's a waste of time trying to analyse what happened on field. I think we'd be doing the team an injustice. But of course, we're going to cover the highs and the lows of our game against Rapid Vienna. Tell me how you're feeling about it, Ultraner.
Just elated. I mean, absolutely elated. I'd like to say as well, happy birthday to my friend Andy, who was out there watching the game. And shortly after the game, myself and I think probably everyone else that supports Hearts that's in his phone book got a text saying how much he loved them with a big flag, followed by a Facebook post. So I think he's enjoyed himself. I think he was absolutely buzzing, as we all were. Would have loved to have been there. Sounded looked great, but that was not something that, as a Hearts fan, that you expect. Like when we went down to 10, that felt like it. Again, so close yet so far. That comeback, that's probably given me another 5 years of my life. It was just glorious. And penalties, you get to penalties and you just go, well, we're going to lose. But no, and there was some truly brilliant talking points of that. I'll not crack into them because we'll do that as the Hearts on Sleeves team. But yeah, I'm just feeling really chuffed. And obviously, there were some other teams I think that might not have done that well over the last 24 hours. That's probably also fun to talk about. So that's kind of increased my happiness as well.
Fair play for waiting until the 76th minute for Magnussen's sending off to write off the game in a fit of rage. I can safely say when we went 1-0 down, I went for a wee pace around the house in anger and
Oh,
think, right,
seriously?
that's bloody it, that's bloody it. But I just need to have a moment and then I'll calm down and have to say, after they scored, it was just really fantastic play from us, basically from the 40th minute onwards. It's one of these weird things, Adam. Like, I don't know what it is. Sometimes we need to have a big moment in a game, such as conceding a goal, for us to really kick into action.
I think we've seen that a few times, haven't we? The first half, maybe the first half in both legs, thought we really struggled. I mean, at half time, I really, really struggled to see how we were going to make it through. And then it feels like something just clicks. It feels like during the match, something clicks, and then we have an amazing spell. And that might just be how we are this season, kind of highs and lows. In terms of the match overall, I think there was a lot of damage, done at the end of last season in terms of like what we all went through with the lows of that day, and that win against Rapid Vienna really it felt very healing to me. It felt like just such. It was like the happiest I've been about a Hearts result for a long time, because even last season you felt happy at results, but you were also so nervous about what was going to happen. That was just the happiest I felt for a long time about a match. I think we all needed it, after after going into the Champions League, Europa League, and then ended up in the Conference League. All of that after last season, where we'd almost won the league. If we'd come away from this with no league phase football, I think that would have been so undeserved and would have hurt a lot. So it was just one of those. That was one of my favourite ever victories for Hearts, just in terms of how amazing it felt and how it went against the script. Once it went to penalties, you just think it's going to be like glorious failure. That's just one of the most elated I've been about a result for a long, long time.
Yeah, like I can't remember feeling so ecstatic about a game in so long. I include like derby matches. I guess only one that comes close to it in memory was that game at Easter Road when I was with you guys, the final Edinburgh derby of the season. That would come close, but I don't know, like just the thrill of everything that happened, of the way it happened, is just really stuck with me today. After the Hibs game, it was brilliant and everything, but I don't know, I still feel like proper buzzing about it. And I suppose that's because, you've got the group stage, but I also think
Yeah.
it's because, man, we've been absolutely fucking scunnered for a while, just after everything happened after the league. And so it really just felt healing is a perfect word, I think, for it.
We needed and we deserved that.
Mm.
I just can't imagine how gutted I would have felt if we'd lost in penalties and ended up with no league phase football. So it felt amazing, and also just seeing the players and the manager at the end of the match. I feel like we've already managed to build a great team spirit, and that gave me a lot of encouragement as well.
I knew we were going to win when Calvin Miller scored.
That was such a ridiculous finish. And honestly, that's like one of these iconic moments. I mean, I think that game produced a lot of iconic moments, particularly after the final whistle. But that one where you just see Calvin Miller like literally hobbling to get to the ball, and the finish was unreal. And then his celebration is
Yeah.
still hobbling. To me, that's going to go down as one of the truly great Hearts moments.
He's my
Someone.
favorite player so far this season,
Yeah.
Calvin. I put him as like at the start of the season, which was not that long ago. I predicted him as player of the season. There's something about him, not just his ability, but there's just something about him as a guy, and it was just
Agree.
one of the best goals, one of my favorite ever goals as well. Just the way he did it. He's like a bit of a hero at the moment, I'd say.
On the ball from Rogers. Oh my God. Yes.
Mm.
Had
Oh, that
everything.
was incredible, incredible cross, and really glad. Really, I think in some of the recent games, we're seeing guys like that contribute. Kabori contributed a lot. Like he actually helped. I think he played the pass to Mato
Yeah, he did.
before Miller scored, and obviously he scored. He kind of bundled it in, but he was in the right position and he scored. But this was another game where you're seeing guys, the subs, even like Kurjata, Mato, and guys like Kabori who, haven't always had the best of times. Like Kabori's not obviously had the best of times, and seeing those guys contribute to the victory is also very important, because I think this is about building a squad, and it's not just one little group of players that are doing everything. We're seeing
Yeah.
many of them come through and do something, and guys like Mato and Kurjata who barely got a look in last season. James Wilson, coming in. It's just really encouraging as well.
Feels like we were maybe more reliant on the Rats last year as well. When this squad feels so unified and they feel so together and really, like, I feel they're really giving their all, and I feel that, I don't know. I mean, this is really stupid to say, but when Renault went down injured, thanks Jordy, um, I never thought fucking game over. You know what I mean? Um, like, it feels like that the squad. I don't know. There's just we might be light in a few places, but everyone's trying. Like everyone's got that spirit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we had a great team spirit last year, but I think
Yeah,
McInnes had a group of players he trusted,
I think
and
that's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
beyond just the obvious, like obviously Devlin and Shankland and the guys that have left. Beyond that, I think you maybe had sort of 12 to 14 players maybe that you would really trust, and then the rest of the guys barely played. So I don't think we can deny that there was a good team spirit, but I think, like you're saying, Trunter, this season it
it's a
feels like
squad spirit.
more players are maybe contributing already at this stage, I think, and Rankin probably seems like he's more willing to give these guys a chance
Yeah,
than they would have got last season. So, and I think that was one of the faults of last season. Was like, one of the strengths was we had such a great core squad or a great starting 11, but beyond that, I think it was a lot harder. Whereas hopefully this season, with guys like Mato already contributing, hopefully we've got more guys that can step in when there's injuries or suspensions.
step up, Borchkovic.
Oh yeah, God, I forgot to mention Borch. I mean, I was absolutely delighted for him as well. So great to see him contribute so much, and that
Some of the
just
balls.
kinda,
Oh.
yeah.
There's a player there. There's a player there. I was taking the mick. I wasn't taking the mick. I still thought it was a player there. When I was talking about him, getting all these starts. But the more I watched of that game, I thought, bloody hell, there is something there. Like there really, really is something there. And from left back as well.
I think what I really love about the game is, look, Calvin Miller, I guess he's going to be the guy that steals the headlines with that fantastic moment. But there's so many sort of subplots and other stories about the lesser used players from last season. You've touched on them there. That block by Borchgrevink was unbelievable. He saved the
Oh,
game. I mean, we would have
yeah,
gone out if it wasn't for him. It was
yeah.
unbelievable. But yeah, just going back to Miller though, because I kind of have to. It was it was what I love about him is he's just been proper vocal on social media as well. He's like totally bought into the Gorgie already. And he's the epitome of a guy who's just totally left it all on the pitch. That's
Why?
exactly what we all want from a player, but just bags of ability as well. It was, yeah, stories about players all over the pitch. The one, I suppose, negative story was, well, I don't suppose it is a negative story, was that injury mentioned there, Trunter, about Renault. Initial words out of Tynecastle is that it'll be December. He's out until, unfortunately. Does that mean we get someone else in? I'm not sure. We also Blair Spittle kind of hobbling about, but he kind of got on with
Yeah,
it, didn't he? So
yeah, but I think it might crop up again. But it's tough to know if we need to buy someone because how do you shell out millions for a Ferrari when you've already got a really, really good Renault in the garage?
But hey, I'm impressed that's the first time someone's made that joke yet, actually. I think so,
Uh,
anyway. Oh, yeah, so I've just been distracted by Adam telling me the fucking terrible news. He's trying to ruin the high spirits of this podcast by saying Hibs have gone 2-1 up. But
Alex.
fuck him. Fuck him. We're here about the Hearts, and
Ooh.
let's get back to them. So yeah, Mato was another one was that I think just had a remarkable game. That photo, have you seen that? Sort of still, I guess it's still actually
Aye, he
from,
fucking loves the Hearts, man.
again, talking of iconic images, him just hands out in front of the Hearts support as the Hearts are all doing fuzzy on the fences. Unbelievable images.
So good. So good. And that's what I'm talking about, like a squad. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
we've got a squad.
I mean, even like, so yeah, the first 40 minutes or so, going back to, to cover the negatives a wee bit. Again, I don't want to analyse too much, but I just want to say that first 40 minutes were difficult, but we managed to get things together. I don't think there's too much blame to be had. I was pissed off at their goal at first, but more I've watched it back. Was a marking great? Nope. But I think it was actually just pretty nice play by them, mixed with a bit of an unfortunate deflection as well, which led it onto the Kara's path. So yeah, it was a frustrating goal to give away, but one that looked on the cards. However, from then we just didn't really turn back. One thing, another negative I do want to just briefly touch on, that fucking referee.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought Adam
Tell
was
me
going to
about
lose
it.
his mind.
Absolutely terrible referee, right? I mean, some of the decisions. Like there was a point where like Hartsburg got kicked. Borchgrevink or someone got kicked at one point, and it was a it was a free kick to them. There was just and the Magnuson decision's really crazy as well. I mean, that's never a
Yeah.
red card, never.
No.
But it wasn't just that; it was just shocking decisions the whole way through the match. That's one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen.
Yeah, you said that at the time. I remember, so my stream was running maybe, I think it must have been about a minute behind you guys watching it. And when you put in the thing about um, basically Borch getting fouled and the foul going against him, I was like, right, I'll check this out. And I thought you must be talking about another foul when it happened. Because I was like, "What? There's no chance you can call that against us." It was like it would be laughable if it wasn't, my team. But yeah, that was stunningly bad from that ref.
I think one of the really satisfying things about winning the game as well is that we can criticise from a winning position. When you criticise a referee after you've lost it, it just looks like sour grapes, doesn't it? But no, it was a fucking horrendous uh, refereeing performance. That second yellow, fair enough, but that first one, just not at all. The
No.
amount, the amount of fouls he was given against us, but not for them, against them, I should say. Infuriating. I mean, we we keep saying, yeah, we need to sort out the referees here, bring in foreign referees because all our ones are completely incapable. And then when we see a performance like that, it doesn't make the argument so valid anymore. But I had to just take a moment to just say what a terrible. And look, if we'd had 10 men, try again. If we'd had 11 men on the field, I think we would have wrapped the game up before we did. But thank
I don't
fuck.
know. I don't know.
Okay.
We talk about those moments that hit us, like some of the games last year as well, when we came, like we looked down and out and we came back and like scraped a draw. Like for me, honestly, that felt like one of those moments. It's like we've been because it felt so unjust. And
Mhm.
then the guys just totally solidified around that. Not saying it should have happened because absolutely was that a red card? Was it? Fuck. Magnuson should have still been on the pitch. But it gave us that like, injustice, that impetus. And we talk about that team spirit, that squad spirit that we've got. Like I think that fed through the whole team. So thanks, ref. Shite ref.
Dedicating that one to you fucking prick.
The fact that we get to pens in such a crucial game, and we were all like, "No, we will lose. We will lose." Like I said earlier, I had this weird kind of calmness when we were watching it. I muted you guys. I muted the WhatsApp chat because my stream was
There was,
slower.
I know so
Um,
because there was about 15,000 messages from me and John.
yeah, that also that's I probably would have muted it anyway. Yeah. So, but I didn't. I can't remember the last time I watched Hearts or Scotland in a penalty shootout and thought, "Nah, we got this." And I just felt that yesterday, and then just the joy. I don't think I even shouted. I just kind of went like, "Yes," which is I didn't break anything or anything like that. It just felt good. It felt good. Felt so good.
Adam, did you feel confident when it went to penalties?
I was too nervous to be honest to be able to think straight at that point. It the worry for me was just you get used to that kind of disappointment. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I was too nervous to really think about it properly, if I'm honest.
Mhm.
Um, I guess what I would say is like I've got a lot of confidence in the keeper,
Yeah.
Rose. Like I mean, I thought he had a great game, and obviously brilliant save to win it for us. That's definitely helping. But in terms of confidence, I don't know. Again, I've just equalised, so yes, fuck the Hibs. And now it's going to probably come up saying, "Oh, it's been overturned, offside or something." No, so like I said, I was just too nervous to think straight. But I do think the keeper's given me a lot of confidence. It might even be an upgrade on Swallow, who was also excellent. So
Mhm.
yeah, all that to
Yeah.
say, who
No,
knows? I was too nervous.
no, Adam, I totally echo that, and I was the same because I first of all, I completely agree that I think we've upgraded on our goalkeeper. I think he could genuinely be one of our best ever. I know that's a huge claim, right? Because we've had some amazing goalkeepers, but the fact he's able to do reaction saves, he looks comfortable in the box, and
Buckle.
just with a ball at his feet, he was just unbelievable. Genuinely, he plays better on the feet than some of our central defenders. Actually,
Yeah. You know his name?
um,
Do you know his name on our podcast now, Jamie? I don't know if you saw this one.
no, what is it?
It's Bobby Rice now.
Bobby Rice, right? Fine.
Bobby Rice. John changed it, so I had to touch upon that. Yeah, it's Bobby Rice.
John
Right,
was
Bobby.
saying that McInnes would have signed him if he was called Bobby Rice, living up to his Brexit down name.
Also, do you know how it's funny because I found out not through your messages, Adam, but through this is about how Rangers lost the penalty shootout earlier. I was just at the Falkirk Tesco. Now, if you know the Falkirk Tesco in the Reading, it's right beside Pullman Youth Offenders. So you can hear them all shouting out their windows and stuff like that. And I was just taking the shopping back to the car, and all I hear is, "Oh, fuck's sake! Fucking get that prick the fuck!" I was like, right, so Rangers have lost then. Looked at my phone, and sure enough. Anyway, it's a Hearts podcast, right? So,
Aye,
um,
so
Oh, we
fuck
need
the
it.
Rangers.
Can we have, even though I might have said let's not mention this too much, can we please have a mention for the fact that McInnes, Devlin, and Shankland left to a supposedly higher level, which apparently means the same league as us. And we've ended up with league phase football, and they've ended up with fuck all.
it is.
So I hope they're all fucking hurting tonight. I really hope they're sitting having a little think about what they've missed out on by pissing off to another club. So fuck them all. I mean, the joy, that's apart from when Hearts have beaten them, I've never had so much joy about Rangers losing a match. The only downside, the only dampener on this excitement is McInnes might not even be at Rangers to come back to Tynecastle in
I know.
October and get booed like hell. So I I've never felt so bloody delighted about Rangers losing. Those absolute pricks, the rats, can all fuck right off. I mean,
Look,
imagine. Sorry, I could go on here for 20
He's off
minutes.
and
About
one.
fucking delighted. I mean, Celtic went out, Rangers went out, and we've gone through. I mean, and you just had just a couple of weeks ago, everyone saying, "Oh, the analytics don't work." Well, if I say everyone, I really mean Ryan Stevenson. But you know, you know, we
Ryan, you can
just get
still come
written
on
up.
if you'd like. It'd be great to chat to you.
Please reply to John's message. We think you're a great guy.
And mine.
You just said a couple of stupid things. That's all. Um, but no, it's just I feel like Hearts were getting written off straight away. There's always this media thing trying to write off the new manager, especially a foreign manager coming in. I'm so happy for Rankin and the squad, and seeing what's happened with Rangers after like all our players, like the players and manager leaving to them, and also seeing what happened with Celtic. Given the dodgy decisions that won them the league, seeing them miss out on Champions League group stages was also just incredible. I'm normally happy about Rangers and Celtic losing in Europe, but these two matches, about 100 times happier than normal.
Yeah, the timing was great as well. I had to show an incredible level of diplomacy, calmness, and maturity this evening. So I'd done about just shy of an 11-hour, 10 and a half hours today, long old shift. So when I kind of got home, my my sister-in-law and my nephew were here. My nephew's a big Rangers fan, so lovely Uncle Trunter stuck on the end of the Rangers game, and we watched the penalties. Um, and I managed to restrain myself from going absolutely batshit when the last pen went in. So I think I feel quite proud of myself for that one. Yeah, can't upset the wee man, you know.
It'd be nice to watch McInnes's interview. I watched that before
Oh,
bed. Just some happy viewing.
I saw a brief quote about him. I mean, you can pretty much guess what it was. It was just putting it all on the players and saying the only one who gave effort today were the fans and the backroom staff, yada yada, that sort of shite. It's not your fucking Brexit tactics gone to shit. I'm sure. Anyway, back to teams that are actually playing in Europe. There's no point in us trying to predict or mention too much about who could play because by the time this comes out, we'll know who are playing. But just quickly, Adam and Trunner, anything you particularly fancy? Any games you particularly like? Would you like easy games? Are you more interested in going to exotic locales? Big games? What are you after?
I think we've got the good thing is because of the different pots and because we've got 6 teams. I think we'll definitely get a mixture of, one or two brilliant teams. Well, maybe not brilliant teams, but one or two like really big names from big leagues, and then some minnows as well. So I think we will get a nice mix. I'm really hoping for like an easy to get to kind of, I don't know, Spain or Italy or that kind of thing, just on France. I'd like one big one like that, and then I also kind of want Brighton, to be honest, just because I think it would be a nice trip.
Mm.
I'd love to I'd love to go to Brighton and then also go to a mainland European game. Ghent 3-2, yes,
No way.
fucking brilliant. Injury time,
Oh,
injury
that is
time.
unbelievable. You're fucking
Oh
joking.
God, can someone please tell me that the last few days have not been a dream? Right, because Celtic have gone out after having been 4-0 up on aggregate at one point. Rangers have gone out on penalties. We've gone through on penalties. Hibs have potentially just gone out in injury time. Please, can someone tell me I'm not just dreaming all of this?
I don't know if we could confirm that. It's still it
Yeah.
feels unreal as well for us.
But no, yeah. So I think like one big, maybe one like I'd like Brighton, and I'd actually like Getafe because I've got friends in Madrid. That would be a nice one.
Mhm.
I'm hoping at least 2 or 3 of us can go to a away trip together. We did Cercle Bruges before, obviously a really nice city. The match wasn't so good, and the circumstance that season was obviously a struggle. So I think if we can get one that 3 or 4 of us could go to, we've got the constraint that John can only travel. John can only travel by train, so I'm hoping we can get one. I don't know, like France or something that John could get to, because that would be a shame if he couldn't come with us. What are
Yeah.
you? Now that I've spoken, I'm sorry. I'm so excited by all the scores at the moment. I'm actually struggling to
It's understandable.
contain. I can't contain my excitement. So every time I open my mouth now, I'm speaking for like 10 minutes and I'm not able to stop. So I'm
Well,
gonna go on mute for a little while before I
yes.
pass out.
No,
Eh,
I'm the same as you, man. I want ideally I think I'd really like a sort of mix of kind of like minnows and like top quality just to see it gives you such like a better impression of the team where we're at, what we can do. But I mean, I don't have any massive preferences where we go, but I think for me the important thing is I reckon I could probably chance my arm with getting to one European game, which I'd love to do with as many of us as we can get because it's something I've never done before, and obviously last season I managed to get to more away games that I've managed in about 2 decades, so it would be phenomenal. Even if the game's shit, which yeah, I mean, I just really like to do that. So bring it
yeah.
on, eh?
I mean, Adam mentioned it. The Bloom Derby would be fucking brilliant, right? But
Yeah,
also,
man.
I'd love to go back to Belgium because the beer there was phenomenal. Cool people, nice people, good party people as well. Like they totally welcomed us, and yeah, like the game was horrendous. The fans in the stadium were in absolute fucking state. They could not handle the beer at all. But Trunter, you could. I believe in you, bro. You could
Oh,
handle
I can
those
handle the beer, no problem
7-8%.
about
The 7 and 8% which they're downing would be nothing to you, I'm sure.
that. Absolutely.
I'll
Yeah,
be I'll be on the alcohol. I'll be on the alcohol-free lager, so I can take care of you guys.
I'll take
appreciate
your
it.
share, brother. Don't worry.
Well, I gave Jamie the free one and that tour we did.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
11% or something, wasn't it?
it was something ridiculous. They didn't do them in pints, though. Like the 11%, I'm sure it was like, I don't know, was it a schooner or something like that? And also the head in them's huge as well. But I mean, it all adds to the flavour. It's amazing. Anyway, I'm making myself very thirsty, and I feel in a mood to celebrate what with everything that's going on.
I think one thing I would say, like I don't want to get into.
Full time, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Ah,
was going to say that. So
That is
that
the
was
most
a own
fantastic.
goal, injury time own goal, put Hibs out. You can't script it. I mean, what I was going to say about Europe is like at the moment I'm trying not to think too much about if we're going to get through or not because I think we need a bit of time to just bask in the glory of us getting through and all the other Scottish teams failing. But I do think we have got like we I think we've got a decent chance when you look at how we messed it up even under Neil Critchley. Like we should have got through. You know, I do think we've got a decent chance. So I think if we can get a favourable draw, you know, alongside one or two like glamour trips, it would be amazing because I think
Mhm,
I think this. I really am a big fan of the league phase actually that they introduced, and the fact that you
mhm,
get. It's amazing that you get 6 games. You also get the draw comes out tomorrow, and the games don't start till October. So, unlike the qualifying games, you've got a proper amount of time to actually try and prepare. So, yeah, I'm still in that excitement and just starting to talk again. So I am going
mhm.
back on mute before Jamie kills me.
On podcasts, generally, I like it when you guys talk. So uh, maybe I've not made myself clear in that point. It's good for you
Sorry,
guys to talk on a podcast,
no, it's
right?
just I feel like I'm hyper though. So every time I speak, I feel like I just after those 4 results, it's unbelievable. Like I mean, Hearts winning was enough, but I think all the other results is just like God, it was so needed after May.
I guess my biggest concern is what's the title of this podcast going to be when there's so many people want to get it up. Like in that fella Ted, but it's like, and now we move on.
bunch of bastards, the liars.
Yeah. Well,
Are you gonna do an album one? Do you want an
well,
album
that
cover?
I'm probably going to stick with that 'cause it seemed to go down well last time. But
Can we fit all with the team? No, actually, I think the album cover should just be about Hearts.
yeah, that's fair. I'll
I
use a
think,
blurb underneath to be like,
yeah,
"Fuck you, other." Yeah, all that sort.
y-
Fine.
I just think, I think that like, obviously it's amazing the other team's lost, but it's also an incredible achievement that we've beaten. You know, we're
It is.
unseeded
Yeah.
and we've beaten Rapid Vienna because it's very rare that we'll beat a team that's bigger than us in Europe. Obviously, it happens occasionally, but
Mhm.
to be unseeded and beat a seeded team is not something that you get a lot from Scottish teams in general. So I think this is it's one of our best ever results in Europe.
And it was one of Scotland's best ever results as well. Just when you look at the stats, what was it like out with the old firm? It's like 51 attempts Scottish teams have had to get into group stages,
Yeah, to
unsuccessfully.
win, yeah, that's to win to get in, right? Rather than dropping down to
That's right.
because obviously
Aye.
Celtic have dropping down, but to actually
Mhm,
win and get in, which is obviously something much harder.
mhm. So I mean, it really is a genuinely unbelievable result, not just for Hearts, but also just for Scottish football and the stats and the history buffs as well. Okay, then. So let's look ahead to St Johnson just quickly, because again, by the time this comes out, there won't be. Also, the fact we don't know who's actually able to play for the St Johnstone game. I think the one thing that obviously is going to be the big talking point for it is Mick Paik playing against his old team. He seemed to still be fit as a fiddle, just because he's honestly Mick Paik, by the way, he's a fucking beast. Like I never realised just what an absolute. He's got like legs like tree trunks, and
Aye.
he's one of those guys who's like a genuine athlete player. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, aye.
I'm not going to preview the game too much, really. Good to know that Hearts are on a run of 8 successive home wins in the Premiership. That's our longest sequence at Tynecastle in the top flight since also winning 8 in a row from August to December 2005. Did you know that?
Mm. No,
There you go.
thank you.
That's all right. That's what I'm here for. Whereas St Johnstone, here's a good stat for you as well, have won just one of their past 14 games in the Premiership, losing their latest 5 in a row, including the first of this season, 1-0 at St Mirren. So look, the stats do seem to suggest that this should be a pretty routine victory for us. I don't think it will be because we'll all be exhausted, but there's going to be a fair amount of adrenaline, not just within the players themselves, but also around the stadium. I think this will be. I've been kind of so the last couple of games at Tynecastle, the atmosphere's been fine, but I think this will feel like a proper throwback to last season. Actually, I think there's going to be an almost celebratory atmosphere throughout it. And look, it'd be great to get a win, keep that winning streak going. But I'll forgive them if they just get a draw. I think they've completely exhausted themselves, and we can dust ourselves off for the Thursday game, which to me is the bigger one because it's against Hibs, and I wouldn't even be surprised to see us rest a few players this weekend. You guys share that same feeling that there's a possibility we might just leave a few of the guys who went the full 120 minutes on the bench?
Nah.
Fine.
Yeah, of
Right.
course.
Jamie, you're talking crap. Nah,
Sorry.
I think presumably we'll see how the players are feeling. I would definitely expect there to be some changes just because, it would have taken a lot out of the players going to penalties, and obviously there were some knocks and injuries along the way, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few changes.
Including one up front with JJ Williams to make his debut right from the start, you think?
Oof.
Tough call, that one.
I don't see why not. I mean, he's been playing,
Yeah.
pretty much regular first team football over in the States.
Nah, he's just
Why
met the
not?
voice, though.
I think go for it. Him and I suppose either, him and Bragg up front. Why not?
When did he arrive in
Although-
Edinburgh?
I think probably about a week ago or something.
Okay, yeah, it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
Um,
fine. You don't need a week to get decent at your job, eh? Be fine.
Nah.
But then, right, so Wilson, I thought he was fine, right? But obviously, out of the two games, I feel Wilson had the better game at Tynecastle. Kabori is now really pushing for a start. You guys feel the same?
Yeah. Do you ever feel that the Heart strikers kind of just fuck with our heads? Like they'll they'll get a sort of run of starts underneath them, and then and they'll be like, oh yeah, pretty good, and then they'll just become shite when they're established, and then drop them. Then they come on as a sub and have a worldie.
I hope after Vienna the fans are a little bit more supportive of Kabari if he plays,
Yeah.
because I think he needs that, because obviously it's been a tough spell. So I hope for that. There's also the forgotten man up front, Bassi. It's funny how
Yep.
he is so far out of the picture now.
Mhm.
I don't think he'll be starting though. I think I think he might reward some of the subs, right? You know, you've got guys like Kurjata, Mato, and Kabori who came on and had a big impact. Borchgrevink as well. Maybe some of the subs might get a shot.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
I mean, Borchgrevink pissed Geordie Altena. Like, I mean, Altena was. I said in the group chat at one point that it looked like his legs weren't connected to his head at one point. And then Borch had such a good game. I mean, it's good to know that he's an option at left back as well.
Okay, then. So let's talk about predictions. So, Adam, I'll come to you first.
I am gonna say 4-1.
Who are the scorers? Pray tell.
Kabori. Kabori, Kurjata, Borchgrevink, and Mato.
All righty.
If
What
this
about-
comes right, I really expect. If this comes right, I will be mentioning it every episode. The rest of
No,
the
put money
season.
on it. Money on that. Put £5 in it, and you'll get 10 million.
What about yourself, Trunter?
2-0 Braga. JJ Williams comes off the bench, gets a second. I was going to go 3-0 and maybe put a McEntee in there as well. He always surprises me. He can do a lot. I feel there's always, other than right back, he's got more more tricks up his sleeve. He's got a shot on him. Didn't know that before. Great defender. Best
yeah.
defender this season.
I completely agree, but I do have a slight question. How
What
come
have I
you
forgotten?
pronounce? No. How come you pronounce mac and tea like mac and cheese?
Did I?
Yeah, it did.
I mean, I've got a cold that I've been struggling through all podcast, so that might be it. But
Or maybe it's
Mac
just
and
because I'm
cheese.
so damn hungry. Still not had my dinner.
Have you still not eaten? It's 10 o'clock.
No.
Fuck's
It's
sake.
too late now.
Rogers tomato, Ocean mac and cheese.
Fuck you.
I mean,
Josh McSteak.
Oh, well done.
way! Bobby Rice.
Yeah.
There we go.
All washed down with a nice cool Miller.
Miller Lite.
So I think scorers. Oh, first I need to tell you the score, don't I? It'll be a 3-1. It will be a 3-1. Obviously McPake. Spittle again. Actually, I think he might actually come off the bench. Spittle. I think he needs a bit of a rest, and he'll come back on the bench. Come back off the bench. Come back on.
Not
One or
injured.
the other. Oh man, I'm so hungry and tired. Right. No, he'll do something off the bench and score from it, right? And yes, JJ to set up Braga.
Mm.
That is where our third will be. No quiz this week because all our voices are about to go with the excitement of what's happened over the last few days.
I do have a quiz, actually. I've
Do
got
you
a quiz.
actually?
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
So this week there were 4 Scottish teams in Europe. Can anyone name the one team that won?
Partick Thistle. Motherwell.
I'm going to go for Greenock Morton because I want to mention them because they are in financial difficulty right now, and you should all go and give them money because we don't want to see a Scottish team not only go out of Europe. Actually, we really fucking do want to see other Scottish teams go out of Europe, but we don't want to see teams go out of business unless they're Rangers. Yeah, so they are
Again?
actually. I'm actually making a randomly serious point here, but yeah, I don't like to see. I guess I always have a slight sense of, actually quite a strong sense of empathy when you hear about other teams that are struggling. So yes, Greenock Morton are doing fundraisers, so do go and see if you're able to contribute to that. And the answer to your quiz is a fucking mighty Heart of Midlothian Football Club.
I fully support what you said about Morton. I just didn't think that would come from my
I didn't think it
quiz.
would either. But
Well,
there
I
you go.
suppose I said quiz and Morton are a big part of that.
They
But
are.
yeah, it's awful when you see those teams struggle because there's been quite a few like Inverness and Edinburgh City, Dumbarton, and that have had points deductions and things. So hopefully Morton pull through because they've been, in the championship I think for a long time, haven't they? Me and John went to Capo as well.
Aye,
Um,
iconic stadium as well. You know.
Yeah, I was there. I've been there years ago. Like one of my friends at uni was a Morton fan actually as well. So yeah, hopefully they pull through.
Yeah. Okay, so we will be back at the usual time next week. We may record this one a bit later so we could include the second leg against Rapid Vienna, and I'm bloody glad we did. But yes, we'll be back usual time next week. Until then, please do follow us on our socials. You'll find us on X, Instagram, and you'll also find us on Blue Sky. As always, you can email us, heartsandsleevespodcast@outlook.com. If you've got any thoughts or want to make any contributions to the food players that we're coming up with, or indeed if you've got any other topics you would like us to bring up, either on or off the pitch.
Rudy Scallop.
So, hey! Right, have a good one, folks. We'll see you next week.
Stephen King rib.